Minor melodies. Minor poses a different kind of challenge because minor scales don't have leading tones. And in order to have a leading tone, we need to raise a seventh scale degree. That causes a problem, an augmented second between 6 and 7. So in melodic writing, we oftentimes raise both the 6th and the 7th to solve that problem. Here's my draft for melody number 2. Take a look. My goal is to write minor key, minor melody, and simple meter. I'm thinking that I want a more dramatic melody. Maybe my articulations will include staccato, maybe some bigger dynamics. I know I'm required to use a pickup note. I'm required to use ties. I'm required to use dots. Okay, but I'm also required to try to make my melody as tonal and clear as possible so that it really utilizes the tonic triad. And so I'm going to use a different kind of technique. Maybe you'd like to try it. It's called parallel phrase structure. That's based on what's called phrase interruption. Okay, so basically what that means is I'm going to utilize scale degree 3 and scale degree 2 in my first phrase, which consists of measure 1 through 4, and then measures 5 through 8 will rearticulate scale degree 3 and then satisfy the supertonic by concluding on the tonic. And this will make a lot more sense, I think, when you see the melody constructed from start to finish. So why don't we get started, and let's open a new document and set it up. Just like before, melody 2, simple meter, minor key. And you can put yourself as the composer. Here, this is a little different. We're going to change this. Mine's in G minor. So I look for the relative major, and then I change the key to minor. Now that's going to become very important later on when we're working with harmony. So Finale needs to recognize your key. My tempo marking, allegro. It's going to be a allegro on the slow end because I'm going to have some faster notes. 1/16. I have a pickup measure, 8th note. Select, measures, finish. Okay. Here we have a pickup measure. I'm going to select 5 measures on the first line, and then 4 measures on the second line. We include the pickup measure as a measure, so there's really a total of 5 measures. Next, I'm going to magnify this so it's easy for both you and me to work with, and clean up the score. I will be doing less of this as we go forward. Next, I'm ready to begin. My pickup note is different than melody number 1. Here I have the dominant once again, but in this case I come from above. And you'll notice that I start right out and waste no time with my dotted note requirement. Big leap to scale degree 3. Okay, so far I have D, G, B flat, D, B flat, and another B flat. B flat scale degree 3. And notice how I outline that tonic triad. Next, coming down the scale, notice that here I've used the descending melodic minor scale. Here's scale degrees 8, 7, 6, and 5. This is the proper use of the melodic minor scale. At this point, I'm in measure number 3. However, measure number 1 and 2 are identical to measures 5 and 6. So using the selection tool, I draw a box around that, drag it down to here, and highlight it in green, and then let go, and it finale copies it. So I'm going to continue. Check my draft occasionally to make sure that I'm not making any errors. Okay. Here I'm ascending through scale degree 6, 7. Here's a shortcut. I have an E flat to make it an E natural. I just hit N and finale does it for me. To raise this to a sharp, I hit the plus key and finale takes care of that too. Here I've selected a dotted 8th 16th figure. Checking my score. When there's a lot of detail, sometimes you have to check your score. Now let's take a look at the score. Notice here that I have an 8th note, another 8th note tied to an 8th note, and then a D pickup. So make sure that I get that just right. There's the leap of an octave. Now to make a tie, just hit T, and that will start your tie, and then finale will connect it to the next note. Now I'm ready to finish the piece here. Checking the score. Notice here another dotted note. Once again, the 7th scale degree is raised. I can leap from 5 to scale degree 7 as long as my next note is scale degree 1. Or if I leap away to scale degree 2, that's okay. Checking the score. Okay, so here I have some detail I want to make sure that I get. Once again, raising with the plus key, and then a dotted note to conclude. I'm not going to go through the process of putting dynamics into this because you already know how to do that from the previous melody. At this point, let's listen. I think it sounds pretty good, so at this point I'd save a copy, print a copy to bring to class, and go to the piano and start practicing. This concludes the instructional component of this lesson. A second component will be added that will go into more detail explaining some of my choices as far as pitches and structure of this melody. So please listen to the next video.